So this looks good, but a question comes to mind as we read some of these notes. It says here, don't show old tours. And so far we don't have any tours that are currently expired, tours that happened in the past. And so we don't know exactly what will happen on this display when those exist. So let's go ahead and create a dummy tour in order to figure out what will happen to our list of content when we have a tour that's occurred already. I'm going to jump back to the browser, and let's go ahead and click Add Content. Let's add a tour. We'll use expired tour for the title. We'll leave everything blank except for the dates. And let's go ahead and select the date that's in the past, so we know it's definitely expired. We'll leave all of the settings on their defaults and click Save. Okay, and let's jump back to the calendar. Now we have a tour now that occurs in 2008, so we can test expired tours. It displays here, which means that we need to adjust our view. Now so far we've dealt with a couple of components of a tour, fields and sort criteria, and to accomplish what we want to here, we're going to add a filter, another component of a view. So let's go ahead and edit this view by hovering over it and clicking the cogwheel, and then Edit View. And let's go ahead and scroll down until we see filter criteria here. So there's a couple of criteria that have already been added. There's published, which says that all of the content that displays in this view needs to be published, and also that the type is tour. So we're displaying only tour types. So we need to add one more criteria to display content that has a date that's past right now. So let's go ahead and click Add. And in this option, let's go ahead and type date into the search and look for our fields date option. It's right here. Again, we're going to choose value instead of value to because we want to test against the start date for this tour. Let's go ahead and click Add and configure filter criteria. Okay, we have some options here. We have date form type, which is what would display if this filter was exposed and the end user could adjust the filter. But we're going to go ahead and leave it at select. We can select the granularity. And because our items are granular to the day, let's go ahead and leave this at day. And then for date year range, let's go ahead and expand this in order to match up with our date range. So I'm going to add 15 and negative 15. And again, this is the date range that we selected for our field. And then I'm going to click Apply and Continue. Now the options here may look a little confusing, so let me describe what they are. The operator explains the comparison that we're making between the date that we're setting here and the date of the content that we're dealing with. So for example, if we wanted to select a date that was beyond now, we would choose is greater than. And if we wanted to choose a date that was before now, we would choose less than. What we want is everything greater than now, so let's go ahead and choose is greater than. Over here, these options continue, and we can select a year, month, or day for a fixed time. Now we don't want a fixed time, we want whatever now is, and so we need to use a relative value. And if we read through this, we'll find out that we can write something like now, just the word now, in this date default in order to trigger a date that's for this particular moment. So let's go ahead and type in now in the date default. And let's go ahead and click Apply. And if we scroll down and we preview our calendar, we see that we only have 3 tours now. Our expired tour no longer exists. So let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to scroll up to the top and click Save. And now we see our calendar. Because we clicked this cogwheel in order to edit the view, it takes us back to the calendar whenever we save it. And we don't see our expired item in here anymore.